So I wanted to make this update video to explain because some people in the comments were saying how the symbol in question was from a skateboarding magazine. And I want to just make this video to clarify that it doesn't matter exactly where they taken the symbol from, whether they taken it from a skateboarding magazine or a rock band or directly from the Church of Satan. And not only does it not matter where they took that particular bumper sticker from, it was done in a way to basically gaslight, not only gaslight me, but also gaslight my subscribers and anyone looking into this information. You see, it was done in such a way to get my attention, but have it be unnoticed to the untrained eye. In other words, having the truth hidden in plain sight. So I want to explain that. Plus, there's also more evidence that that car was placed there deliberately just to get my attention to try to intimidate me. If you haven't seen my video, What Was Found in Caleb's Room, Part 4, Jehovah's Witness True Identity, let me just give you a brief explanation just to clarify what that symbol is, regardless of where they're actually taking it from or who actually uses it. So the upside down star in itself, that in itself is a satanic symbol. As you can see on the top left, that book, The Satanic Rituals, it just has to be an upside down star for it to have that meaning. People who are Satanists like to reverse things. That's why the star is upside down. For example, some of you may remember that back in like the 70s and the 80s, if you played a record backwards on a record player, sometimes there were satanic messages if you played it backwards. So Satanists always like to invert things, turn things around upside down. And the upside down stars, specifically one of the things that I discovered in one of the Caleb and Sophia videos, and the girl's locker that was right above Saturn, which Saturn is also a reference to Satan. And then, of course, the bully also had a lollipop that was shaped as Saturn, making another reference to Satan. But then to go a little bit further, so a more obvious sign that is clearly dark in nature is when they take the upside down star and they put the Baphomet face inside the star. So the reason that they turn the star upside down and stick the Baphomet face in there is because the bottom 2 points of the star, which should be on the bottom but that are now reversed on the top, are supposed to represent the Baphomet's horns, where I have marked red. And then if you can see where I have marked blue, the sides of the star are supposed to be the Baphomet's ears. And then the bottom makes like a triangle chin shape, right? Making the whole head kind of like a triangle down to the chin. And it's based on the Baphomet pictures and statues you see on the right. And this is also what is subliminally in the bully sweater, as she's holding the Saturn lollipop, which is also a reference to Satan. So make no mistake about it. This symbol is not a skateboarding magazine. It's not a rock band symbol. It's an ancient satanic symbol, period. So it doesn't matter who's using it. The message that was given to me was this symbol as a way to try to intimidate me and to also say we're watching you. Now, the fact that the Thrasher was used, which is from apparently a skateboarding magazine, it's no different than if they use Pentagram, which I believe is a rock band, Metallica, Samuel Lilith, right? You see, the message that was being shown was the symbol, regardless of where they actually got the bumper sticker from. So, for example, whether they taken it from Thrasher, Samuel Lilith, the Satanic Mass, or straight up the Church of Satan, right? Because The message for me to see why that car was planted in such a way to get my attention, and this car was never, I've never seen this car before. It doesn't matter exactly which source they took the symbol from, it has the same meaning. So why would they take, say, something like a rock band or a skateboarding magazine instead of, say, the Satanic Mass, for example? So if somebody is trying to get my attention and they want to place this car in such a way that I'm going to notice it, right? But not to the untrained eye, right? Not to draw attention to anybody else that may happen to be walking through this gate, but particularly to get my attention. Well, you see, if they put a bumper sticker on their front windshield that straight up said the Satanic Mass, well, other people may be alarmed by that, right? Think about a parent with children, right? And they notice a suspicious car that's never been there before with a Satanic Mass sticker on the front windshield or a Satanic Mass bumper sticker on the front windshield, right? That might cause attention, right? Somebody might call the police and say, "Hey, there's a serial killer right at the park," right? Somebody parked this strange car. No one's never seen it before. It's just planted there. It's not moving and it says Satanic Mass on it. You see, that would cause more attention than perhaps that they want. Or say they put a bumper sticker that was from the Satanic Temple, right? Same thing. A car with this on the windshield may be highly suspicious and concerning to anybody that notices a car parked at a park entrance gate that doesn't move and no one's never seen it before. But you see, by using something like this that doesn't straight say the Church of Satan on it, the untrained eye is going to walk by this car and all they're going to see is the word Thrasher, right? They don't even know what the Baphomet is, the average person, right? It's only if you look close enough that you can see it says 666 in it. But the untrained eye, anyone else that uses this entrance, it's not going to catch their attention because it wasn't meant for them. It wasn't placed there to get their attention. And again, the average person doesn't even know that the what the Baphomet even is to recognize what that is. All they're going to see is Thrasher. So you see, it didn't matter which one they used. They could have used Samuel Lilith. They could have used Metallica. They could use Pentagram or lots of other logos that are using this symbol. But anything that doesn't say the Church of Satan is not going to draw undue attention. And it's not going to draw concern to anyone that walks by this car. They're not even going to know what that symbol even is. All they're going to see is the word Thresher. So as you can see where I have that yellow arrow, the average person that walks by this car, they don't even know what a Baphomet is, never mind understanding or seeing exactly what they're looking at. So the average person is going to walk by and all they're going to see is the word Thrasher. But what do you think that somebody like me is going to notice when I walk by something like that? Right. And again, this car being planted there in a specific spot that I use every day that I've never seen before in my life, right? I've walked through this gate many times. It wasn't until I made my comeback video that a car I've never seen before, now it's just placed there right next to the gate. Well, what do you think somebody like me is going to notice when I walk by this? Am I going to even care that it says Thrasher or if it said Metallica or any other magazine or rock band? Well, those of you who've been watching my channel, it's very clear. You know damn well that if I walk by something like this is what I'm going to see, right? And this is how I break down things on my video. And it was planted there to try to intimidate and get my attention, not the average person. So while everyone else would just see Thrasher and not even think twice, not even know what a Baphomet even is, there's no question that I'm going to notice this when I walk by this car, right? Regardless of, again, what it says at the top of it. And what makes this particular logo special that was used is that this one actually says 666 on the logo. right? Some of the rock bands don't even put the 666 and the star in the Baphomet, right? But how much more satanic can you get than you already got the star upside down? You got the clear Baphomet face, and just to top it off, 666. You see, this has nothing to do with skateboarding. It's clearly a satanic symbol that they may be using, but that's what it is. And then using the one that says 666 has special meaning to to the type of work that I do because what I've been breaking down in my what was found in Caleb Room videos is specifically 666, Saturn worship, which is a reference to Satan, and the Baphomet, right? The upside down stars hidden in Caleb and Sophia videos. So this particular symbol, again, with all those characteristics, the upside down star, the Baphomet, and the 666, of course I'm going to notice that when I walk by this car, right? The average person doesn't know what any of this stuff means. So this is why it was placed there, because once I made my comeback video and I gave a preview of breaking down more of these symbols in Caleb and Sophia videos, that's why it's specifically parked there to intimidate me. I've never seen this car before, never seen it before. And then now suddenly it's right by that entrance. And I've never seen this car before. Now it doesn't move. Every time I walk by it, I have to look at this thing. But it's a form of gaslighting because to the untrained eye, all they're going to see is Thrasher. And they're going to think, oh, it's just a skateboarding logo, right? Like, like it's nothing. Not understanding that it specifically was used in that way so that it could be hidden in plain sight, right? So that the average person would not notice it. But of course, it's going to get my attention, right? But then it's like it's gaslighting because it's like, oh, what are you talking about? It's just the skateboarding. Like, what are you making a big deal about? Now, I don't claim to be right with everything. So the next thing I'm going to show you, to me, it's too much of a coincidence, but I don't claim to be right about everything. There are coincidences, but I want to play you a clip from my last video and keep in mind, so the Baphomet that they decided to use to hide this in plain sight, because again, using the Church of Satan would be too obvious, was from Thrasher Skateboarding magazine. So with that in mind, I'm going to play you a clip from my last video when I was recording this live. Well, not live like I was broadcasting it live, but it was live in a sense of I just started recording it. And I mentioned that in the last video. I'm like, yeah, they're probably watching me just to see my reaction, right? As I have to walk by this car every day. So with that in mind, and as I play this clip, just ask yourself if you think this is a coincidence. And maybe it is, but I personally don't believe in coincidences when is this many connected to one particular issue. So first, as I said, this is a gate that I walk past every morning. So of all the parking spots, it has to be parked right by the gate that they know I have to walk past. Now, second, as you see the cars reverse. So here's the thing. Again, I don't claim to be right all the time. And yes, there are some things that are coincidences. But is it just a coincidence that as I'm making a very short video, right? This isn't like one of my videos that's 2 hours long. That in such a short video, a 9-minute video, right as I'm exposing this Baphomet that is hidden in a skateboarding magazine logo, right? Because again, that's a form of gaslighting that they take it from something where it's like plausible deniability, right? So is it a coincidence that just as I'm talking about this logo that's hinted under Thrasher of a skateboarding magazine, just by coincidence, a grown-ass man on a skateboard right through the video, right? Not by chance he goes around me or anything like that in the video as I'm talking about it. Is that a coincidence? Or is this more gaslighting? Now, this concept might be hard for those who, like any Jehovah's Witness that stumbles across my channel, this is too far beyond what they can handle. This is way over their head. But those of you who are hardcore researchers, exjws that are very awake, right? And you know the way that these things work. So if you have a highly organized group of somebody that is trying to intimidate me, they're watching me, they put this car here right after I did my comeback video, getting my attention, put this much detail in parking this car in such a way to get my attention. My question is, did they send somebody on a skateboard as a way of subliminal gaslighting while I'm doing the video, knowing that it's gaslighting, right? Because hey, I'm right, there's no Baphomet. It's just a Thrasher magazine, right? It's all in my head. So is that a coincidence that a grown-ass man on a skateboard just right through the video as I'm talking about this logo that's hidden under Thrasher? Well, this is just what I think. And again, I don't claim to be right about everything. And there are some coincidences, right? The car being there, that's not a coincidence. There's too many of those, too many coincidences where I know it's not a coincidence. So my personal belief, this is what I personally believe. So I think that whoever put that car there, whoever is trying to intimidate and watch me, what I think is that as a form of gaslighting, again, if they used the Church of Satan logo, that would be too obvious. So using something where they can hide it in plain sight, where they can get my attention when no one else noticing, using Thrasher is perfect as opposed to straight using the Church of Satan bumper sticker. So as a form of subliminal gaslighting, by sending somebody on a skateboard right through my video, right? What are the odds of that? It's a way of sending a subliminal message to your unconscious that I'm basically just being paranoid, right? Like it's Thrasher, right? It's skateboarding. It has nothing to do with any it's no coincidence to the videos that I'm making, right? But you see, it's a subliminal message in a way that you're not even meant to notice it. I bet that most of the people who watch my video, being honest, you probably didn't even notice this guy in a skateboard and even connected the dots. So it's like it's put there in the background to subliminally put in your head that I'm basically just being paranoid and it has nothing to do with anything demonic. It's nothing, but you're not meant to actually see it, right? It's just like the subliminals and Watchtower magazines, right? All that subliminal stuff they put in there, the black guy with the penis arm and all that, you're not meant to actually see that. It's meant for you to see it, but not see it, right? It's meant for your subconscious to be programmed, but you're not really supposed to notice it, right? So that's what I think. I I believe that as I'm recording this video, the same people that I said would be watching to see my reaction did this while recording the video to put that subliminal message in the background without you really noticing it. Now, again, I could be wrong with this, but here's the thing. So if you can even ask ChatGPT, right? And I don't know how to ask ChatGPT the question appropriately, but there must be a way where you can ask ChatGPT if you figure out how to ask what the odds of this would be. And I guarantee I'd probably say ChatGPT would probably say that like the odds of all these coincidences, all the things just connected with the car itself and the symbol and when it was placed there and the videos that I've done, and the fact that it's hidden under a Thrasher logo, like a cover, right? Like a way to hide it in plain sight. And then just by chance, as I'm recording the video, a guy on a skateboard, right through the video as I'm talking. I don't think that's a coincidence. And I bet if you could factor in the odds of all this stuff, not just the skateboard, but all the things about the car that I mentioned in the first video, and then the person on the skateboard, like, no. And just to clarify, this is not a skateboarding park, right? There's certain parks, like if you see the picture of the magazine where they have all these things for skate, this is not a skateboarding park anyway. But anyway, that's another subject. I'm not gonna harp on this part too much, but to me, you're not gonna have that many coincidences factored into one thing. And again, ask ChatGPT if you can figure out how to word it. What are the odds of all these things being a coincidence, right? So don't just take my word for it. You think about it yourself if these are just coincidences. And just to recap from what I said in my first video, right? To understand that it's not just a logo, right? So point number one that I mentioned in my last video, it was parked right by the gate that I walk by every morning. There's several entrances to this park, right? This is not the only way to get into this park. This just happens to be the gate that I use. And every morning I have to walk by this car and see that symbol. And I've never seen this car before. It was never there before. That's the point. And now it was suddenly placed there. Point number two, the car's reversed in with the bumper sticker on the front windshield. So I brought that out too in the last video. The whole spectacle of putting the bumper sticker on the front windshield and then reversing it in like that. Who put the bumper sticker on the front windshield? I think about it like this. Why do they call it a bumper sticker? It's supposed to go on your bumper so that people can read it when you're in traffic. That's what it's for. So when you're in traffic and somebody's got bumper stickers, you're reading the bumper stickers. How the hell are you going to read a bumper sticker on the front windshield? Right? When's the last time that you were in traffic and you tried to look through your rearview mirror to try to read a bumper sticker on a car behind you? Right? Unless the car is going the wrong way on the expressway, right? They're coming head on at you. You might read bumper stickers in, but are you really going to be reading? So you know what I'm saying. I don't mean to be too sarcastic with it, but you don't put bumper stickers on the front windshield. So it's like if they pulled the car in normally and a bumper sticker was on the back of the bumper, it would still catch my attention, but it wouldn't be so obvious. But you see, by reversing it and then putting the bumper sticker on the front windshield, that's to get my attention. Point number three, it's the same exact symbol from the one from the video I did. Now, when I say it's the same exact symbol, I don't mean with the Thrasher. It's the fact of there's a lot of different versions of this symbol. But the one that I discussed in the video is black and white with the Baphomet face in the middle of it, right? That's what I mean by it's the same exact symbol that I was exposing. And then point number four, there are no assigned parking spots, and this is the only car that does not move. So going back to what I was saying with the first point is that I walk through this entrance every day. I know for a fact that every time I go there, it's a different car because it's like playing musical chairs with parking spaces, right? Sometimes you may get the same spot, but it's not likely you get the same spot. So every time I've gone through this gate, it's never the same exact car. And yet, after I did my comeback video, now this car is placed there and it doesn't move, right? Where every other car now is moving and they're in different spots. This one does not move. Point number five, I've never seen this car before. It was placed there the day after I made my comeback video. So you see, that's the point. I've never seen this vehicle before. It was placed there the day after I made my comeback video, giving a preview of exposing more of this type of stuff. Now, just to put this in perspective, because I want everybody to think about this. So, when I say this was planted there for me based on my routine, everybody's daily routine is different. So let's just say that, and you can use many examples of this, but let's just say that you live in a house where you have to walk to the end of your driveway to get to your mailbox, right? Let's say you got a long driveway. So this is your routine. Every day you walk to the end of your driveway to check the mailbox. If you notice a car parked near your mailbox that you've never seen before, right? Not to say that nobody can put a bumper sticker on a front windshield, but I'm talking about if this is your daily routine and now you see a car that you've never seen before, and then it has a sticker related to like something that you particularly are working on, well, of course you're going to notice that. But even more suspicious, if now that car you never seen before, if now every time you go out to your mailbox, now the car is there and it doesn't move, well, of course you're going to notice that. But you see, that's your routine. It's not your neighbor's routine, right? Your neighbor may have a different path that he walks to his mailbox, right? His mailbox is in a different spot. So if you say to your neighbor something about this car, they might not really care because it's not their routine. So everybody's routine is different. So if you have a special routine of a place that you walk, you're going to notice if there's a car that you've never seen before. And now it just happens to be parked and now it never moves. And there's a bumper sticker that has to do with you, something that you're doing. So that's what I'm saying. It's not just the fact of I'm pointing out some skateboarding logo. All of those five things together is why I know it's deliberate. It's deliberate for a reason, and it's meant to get my attention, not the attention of other people to walk by it. And that's why if they used the Church of Satan bumper sticker, it would be too obvious and it would be alarming to other people that use this park. Right. So it's kind of clever that they use Thrasher and not the Church of Satan. You see, if you put enough boneheads together, right, 1,000 boneheads can equal one chicken, right? And I don't even know what that means. It just, I don't know. I just felt like saying that, right? So what I'm saying is that while these people are boneheads, you put enough of people together against me, like I'm a one-man army, right? It takes all these people to try to come against me. So you put enough boneheads together, they can come up with some good ideas, right? So yeah, using Thrasher makes a lot more sense that other people are not going to notice it. But of course I'm going to notice it. So now one more point, a sixth point that shows this is not a coincidence, is that they purposely left a large gap to make sure I don't miss it. I mean, look how tiny this car is, right? And look at that big gap still left in that parking spot, right? When you're reversing a car in, you usually are going to want to back it all the way up. I mean, that spot's so big, you could fit a smart car there, right? You could fit two cars, right? A smart car could fit in that spot, how wide that gap is. So why would somebody with such a small little car like that leave such a huge gap when reversing it in? Well, if you look at this blue line, you can see how much space is in this parking spot, right? So they, while reversing the car in, they parked right up to the top of the line, right? Usually when you're reversing a car and you're going to go in as far as you can go in, right? Why even reverse it and leave that much gap? That doesn't make any sense. So now take a look at the green arrow I have pointing down. So that's where the car should be, right? And I just want to say this before I go any further, before anybody tries to gaslight me any further and say, oh, I park like that sometimes. Yeah, you know what? I park like that sometimes too, right? And a place I'm not familiar with, right? Not at a place that I live, right? A place that I live at that I'm there daily, I don't park like that. But yeah, sometimes, you're in a parking spot you're not familiar with. Yeah, I sometimes do that too, right? Where you misjudge it and you don't back up far enough, right? Even though everybody's got backup cameras, but forget that for now. But keep in mind, this is coincidences, right? It's too many things that are making this car position in a way to make sure that it gets my attention. So yeah, sometimes people park like that by accident, but let's look at this further. So that's where the car should be. So basically, if the car was parked where that green arrow was, then as I'm walking through this park, right, and I have this where it says me in orange, right? So me in orange and that arrow or that line. So if that's where I'm walking from, if the car was parked where that green arrow is back further, and I'm coming from that direction, you see, I may not see the bumper sticker on the front windshield. I might not see it close enough to even recognize what symbol it is. Because the closer I get to that gate, my mind is focusing on now reaching my arm out and opening the gate, right? The closer I get to the gate, I'm less paying attention to the things around me as I go towards the gate. So you can clearly see where that green arrow is. If the car was backed in as it should be, I could walk by it and not even notice it, even though it's still in the front windshield. But now take a look at the second arrow where the car actually is, right up to the front of that parking space, leaving that big gap. You see, by reversing the car in, but not really reversing it in, by basically just staying at the very top of that parking spot, leaving that much of a gap, you see, that's making it almost impossible for me not to see it. And that's why that gap is there. You see, that gap is there because it's making it clear that it's like they're putting it in my face, right? So there's too many things wrong with this, right? The bumper stickers on the front windshield, it's reversed and they leave that huge gap there. It was placed right after the gate that I use when there's multiple gates to this park. They don't have assigned parking spots, so the cars are supposed to move. It's never supposed to be the same car in the same spot every single day for weeks. And then it was placed there the day after I make my comeback video exposing these exact symbols and Jehovah's Witness stuff, right? So you see, now when you take all those things in consideration, why did they leave that big gap there but still reverse to put it in my face? That's why. That's why it's placed there so I cannot miss it. And of course, it's not on the driver's side of the front windshield. No, it's placed perfectly in my face so that I cannot not notice it. And those of you who've been watching my videos, you know I'm not gonna not notice that. Of course, if I can spot the Baphomet and the bully's shirt, of course I'm gonna see that. And this is why it doesn't matter which logo they use, because when someone is trying to tailor something to specifically try to get somebody's attention, to send a threat, but they want to hide it in plain sight where the average person is not going to see it, you see, it doesn't matter if it's from a skateboarding logo or a rock band or straight from the Church of Satan, right? It it doesn't matter. Because this was tailored towards me, it was meant just to get my attention. So when I mentioned using the Thrasher logo is also a way that they're trying to gaslight me by not taking it directly from the Church of Satan, which would be too obvious, I wanted to show you two comments that I believe are the same boneheads that are trying to set me up and watch me, right? So, and maybe I'm wrong, right? So if this guy is genuine, I apologize, but I don't think this is a genuine comment. Now I'm going to show you how this is more gaslighting. So if these people are watching me to the point where they place that car there and are waiting to see my reaction, of course they're watching my videos too, right? That's a given. So I'm sure that these are some of the people in the comments too. So let me read this comment and explain to you why this goes with the whole gaslighting of using the Thrasher logo in a way to try to make it seem like it's nothing and there's no connection and I'm just being paranoid. So this person says, now keep in mind too, I just came back, right, to start doing videos. So the two videos that I posted don't have a lot of views yet because a lot of people didn't even know that I came back. So the majority of people that have watched my videos are really just my fans, right? My new videos aren't circulating to the point where random people are seeing it. So it's already odd to get a comment like this. And this was only 7 days from when I posted it. Right. So that right away is suspicious, right? Because who is this person already watching my videos when a lot of my subscribers don't even know I've even came back yet? So anyway, this is what this person says, who I think is one of these boneheads, honestly. First thing he says is, bro, I'm schizophrenic. And if I said this, my partner would let me know I'm having an episode. Well, before I even break that down, let me just go on to what else he says. He then says, I understand things are hard, and I have no doubt you have people who have a problem with you or what you're doing. But I truly do not believe this is an attempt to get you. I genuinely believe it's just some dude's car. That all said, if they were, right now, why does he use capital letters? That's a little bit of hypnosis there. That all they said, if that all said, if they were trying to get a reaction, why would you give it to them by standing there making a video? Just walk past without so much as a nod and show them how insignificant they are. Have you seen the videos of someone trying to rob somewhere and no one caring and they just get sad and leave? That's what you need to do, not give an F and make them leave sad. Best of luck either way. So I know that they're coming across as genuine, but let me just explain. These type of people, the best way to make a comment to try to destroy my credibility is to pretend they're on my side, right? That I'm not just being attacked. Because when people are attacking, it's kind of more obvious to say, okay, they're just haters, they're just trying to attack. When he says best luck either way, I don't believe this guy is my friend or trying to be nice. The first reason I want to say that is because notice his very first sentence. He says, "Bro, I'm schizophrenic." The reason that's his first sentence is because people may not read the whole comment, but they will see the first line. So right away, that's the message that this person wants to put out there. He wants everybody watching my videos to think that I'm being schizophrenic. So if he's one of my supporters or he's being nice, why would he not just send me a private message if he really thought that, right? But you see, by not sending me a private message like through my contact email, that's the first thing that he's saying to put that to subliminally put that out there to anyone who watches my videos. Oh, this guy's just schizophrenic, right? He doesn't know it's all in his imagination. That's why that's the first word that he says. But then he says, and if I said this, my partner would let me know I'm having an episode. Well, no disrespect if he's a real person. I don't think he's real. I think he's one of the same boneheads trying to attack me, right? But why the hell would I care what this guy's partner would say to him, right? I don't even know who he is. He doesn't have a picture. I don't know who he is. I don't know who his partner is. Right now, I mentioned in the last video how I've been on Ole Demmergard's channel twice on his website. I've been on Michael Jekyll's channel twice. I have big names who believe everything that I've said to them, right? And then I have 2,500 subscribers, which I've said before that I know that the real amount is more than that. So if I have all these subscribers and I have big names like Ole Demmergard and Michael Jekyll who are experts in this type of stuff, why the hell would I care about some random comment who I don't even know who he is, what his partner would say to him? Right? You see, even that is just bonehead reasoning, right? Like what I'm gonna delete my channel and get rid of all my videos and say, oh, I'm right, I'm schizophrenic because this random person says so. But the reason this is a bonehead comment is because it's meant to try to cause people to discredit what I said in the last video. As if he didn't watch the video and mention all those different reasons why I'm saying it's not a coincidence. Right? I'm not just looking at some random car with a bumper sticker on it and questioning it. It's all those things combined. Yet this comment is placed there so people would see the word schizophrenia and ignore all the evidence that I mentioned. So that's why I don't believe this is a real person. I think it's one of the same boneheads that probably parked the car there, to be honest. And then this one says, Thrasher is a musical band. That car either doesn't run or the person doesn't leave until afternoon. Go to a different park or a gym instead. Go see a psychiatrist. You're displaying signs of paranoia and delusional thinking due to mental illness. So, and to be honest, like I only use comments like this to my advantage because it's a good opportunity to kind of just show the gaslighting. But anyway, so first he says the car either doesn't run or the person doesn't leave until the afternoon. I'm sorry, did I give the location where I was at? Because I don't think I give the location of where I was at. So what did he send a mechanic to an unknown location to do an inspection and say, okay, the car doesn't run? How does this person know the car doesn't run? He doesn't even know where I'm at. And then he says, or the person doesn't leave until the afternoon. So keep in mind, this is my routine. Like I explained, we all know our routine. Like I gave the example of if you go out to, if you have to walk to the end of your driveway to your mailbox, you know your routine. You know your routine if something's out of place in your routine. So this is my routine. This person doesn't know my routine, but he's telling me, he's letting me know either the car doesn't run or the person doesn't leave the after. How does he know that? Right? But you see, this is again, it's gaslighting. All he's trying to do is gaslight, and he's hoping that whoever watches my video will read his comment and ignore all the tons of evidence that I gave to say this is not a coincidence. It's too many things to be a coincidence. But he wants to try to sum it up to just say either the car doesn't run or the person doesn't leave it to the afternoon. Now, just to clarify this too about the whole afternoon comment, I said that my routine is I walk there every morning, but that's not the only time I go to that park. So just to clarify, I've in the evening left that park. I've gone in the morning, and there's days where if I wasn't working, I'm at that park all day long. Right. So it's not a matter of the car doesn't move. I made it clear in the last video the car doesn't move. Right. But you see the gaslighting, he's writing in such a way that he wants you to ignore what I said in the video and just assume that, oh, the car, like I'm basically being stupid that the guy leaves in the afternoon. Didn't you hear me in the last video say that the car never moves? Right. And that I walk through that park every day and all the cars are random. It's never the same parking spot. Right. If that guy left in the afternoon, his parking spot would be gone in the morning. And that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, you see, like even me just wasting my time explaining it, it's a gaslighting comment to begin with. So then he says, go to a different park or gym, see a psychiatrist. You're displaying signs of paranoia and delusion. So again, I've been on Michael Jacob's show. I've been on Ole Demogorg's channel. I mentioned in my comeback video, I got people all over the world that were asking me to come back that are saying my videos are waking them up. If I'm waking people up out of this Jehovah's Witness religion, am I going to just think, you know what? I'm just delusional and I might as well delete my channel, right? I'm going to go and delete my channel because I'm going to go see a psychiatrist because this random comment says that. Well, obviously, that also is bonehead reasoning. But you see, it's not really, and this is what I'm trying to say. This comment is not meant for me. These people know I'm too smart for this kind of stuff. It's meant just to try to gaslight. And again, that's going back to the whole Thrasher logo in the first place, right? That's why they didn't use it directly from the Church of Satan. It's meant to hide it in plain sight, tailored to get my attention, not the attention of every random person that walks in there. So I wanted to just break that down to make it clear that it doesn't matter where they took the logo from. The five coincidences plus the sixth one on that gap, the way that it's parked there. And you can even throw in the guy in the skateboard too, because I don't think, and again, put this information into ChatGPT and tell me what ChatGPT tells you. If all this is a coincidence or it's likely some sort of a setup, right? Don't take my word for it. Do the odds yourself on all these things that I'm saying. And the reason why that this was done to try to threaten me or intimidate me or to say, hey, we're watching you, is simply because this is the exact type of symbolism that I am exposing, plain and simple.